Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and I'm joined by Susan.
Hi,
Um,
live long and prosper.
can you guess what we're talking about today? Uh, we are, oh, well, we'll do it again. Right then, we, we could go all night like this. We Tonight we are talking the 1996 movie Star Trek 8, or otherwise known as Star Trek First Contact, with the Next Generation crew and the Cybermen rip off the Borg. So this is where the Borg managed to go and time travel back in time to Earth to change history to become control of the Earth. Uh, and of course, the Star Trek crew, the Enterprise crew, follow them back in time. Now, this sort of thing has been done before, time travel in Star Trek, quite a few times
hmm
to be fair. We did it in the Voyage Home, and we did it in the TV series. So that's nothing new. But it seems to get easier and easier every time they do it. And this was quite easy, this one. Um, so yeah, so this is the Enterprise trying to save First Contact Day, which was the day Earth made contact with extraterrestrial life for the very first time, and that was April the what was it, the 4th, 20, was it 2063 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so we're not that far away. So we'll go over to Susan. The Borg are back. The next gen cast are back. Is it any good, Susan?
All right. Well, first things first. Like to talk a little bit about the folks who made this story. It was written by Rick Berman and Braga. Brandon Braga is from Bozeman, Montana.
Oh,
That's where I'm from. And
right.
so, of course, Zephram Cochrane's missile that he creates, the first warship, the Phoenix, which is great. It's a great name for a ship. Um, he creates it out of a nuclear missile. And if Montana were to secede from the United States at this at this very time, because of how many things are buried in how many nukes are buried in Montana. Montana would become the fourth most powerful nuclear power in the world.
Oh,
It's a there's a hell of a lot of bombs underground in silos there. And so, of course, use one of them. And directed by Jonathan Frakes. Jonathan Frakes had been directing quite a few things. He was directing TV and movies. And he does a lot of directing now. He's pretty much all over the place. Yeah. Uh, and uh, produced by Rick Berman and Peter Lortzen and Marty Horenstein. And are those three were able to um, you know, get a cast that was really cool. Folks like um folks like Alfred Woodward as Lily. Lily was Zephram Cochrane's assistant, co-pilot. What was she to in that organization? I don't. But she was obviously a little shell-shocked herself. Little PTSD going on there due to fighting the Eekers. The Eekers were the Eastern Coalition, and apparently there was a lot of stuff that went on. And also James Cronwell as Zephram, and Alice Krieg as the Borg Queen, and Neil McDonough as Lieutenant Hawk. And every time I see Neil McDonough, I expect him to be Damien Dark with Malcolm Merlin, played by John Barrowman. I just, there you see his face and you expect John Barrowman's face. I saw a lot of that Arrowverse. I must admit that was a very big part of a few years of my television watching, to be honest with you. So Neil McDonough he was a great baddie. And in this one, he starts off as a really solid, quiet. He barely has any speaking parts. And then he turned into a Borg. He's assimilated. So what are they called? XB and Picard now? Anyway, I really liked the whole idea that they were that the Enterprise itself, which was a cool place to have a Borg collective start, to a much better ship than the cube or the sphere. Talk about the Borg sphere is basically just a small Death Star. Mm-hmm. And the Borg cube, I don't know what that is, but the Borg really were kind of a Cybermen ripoff. You can definitely see some of the piping is kind of the same. I just, this is the first time I've thought about it. I did watch Assimilation, or I didn't watch it. I did read the graphic novel Assimilation, which is the crossover between talking about Star Trek crossover with Doctor Who. It was maybe 25 years ago, 2003 or something.
When both series were popular.
Yeah. And so enjoyed it. It's I like the Borg as a baddie. I think that they can be really creepy. And I love how the line that Lily says sounds Swedish. And that was like a reference of Bjorn Borg, the Swedish tennis star. So cool. Anyway, all my opening thoughts. Go ahead, Lee.
Well, yeah, it's an enjoyable movie, but as I said at the beginning of this about the time travel thing with Star Trek, it gets easier and easier as the movies go along. Back in Voyage Home, they had to slingshot around the sun.
Right.
To time travel. This one is, make it so. We'll data, just do this, press the buttons, and we'll go back to the 25th, whatever, 3rd, 4th century, whatever he said. Yeah, so it's getting easier. And the way they split the team up, you got Picard, Data, Worf, all stuck on the Enterprise, and you've got the away team stuck on Earth. So you've got two stories going on alongside. Um, one thing, one thing, what does sort of niggle at me a bit, and it's a little bit doesn't feel right. It's a little bit out of place. Is Picard becoming an action hero type like Bruce Willis, swinging from cables, wearing a vest? Uh, that's not Picard. Picard's, one of he's a thinker. He's a gentleman. He's a, you know, it, in this when that scene happens, I'm thinking, I don't know. It
Got a
feels out of
wine
place.
farm for crying out loud.
It was a what?
He's got a wine farm for crying out loud.
I mean, they had to get him in. They had to get him into a vest, and I'm thinking straight away. I thought, Die Hard, uh, but apparently Patrick Stewart was fine with it, or he may suggest it. I don't know, but it just didn't. It's a little bit jarring in the film. Yeah, the Borg, great creations, but then also the creation of the Borg Queen, Alex Krug, sort of more human than just the normal Borg drones. Great character. Such a great character. She even beds Data really when you think about it, because he's fully functional. you know? Yeah, it's as I say. There's two stories going on. No Whoopi Goldberg in this.
No.
It's a shame. And also, I do wish. Um, I wish Chief O'Brien had made it into the movies. Colm Meaney.
Yeah.
He didn't do any of the movies, did he?
Right, and neither did
Crusher, Wesley.
Wesley Crusher, right?
As I said, it would have been all right if you had a couple of those characters back, but no. But we did get the Doctor, the hologram Doctor, for a little bit.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And who else was there? I'm just looking here. Ethan Phillips wasn't playing the character he plays in.
Wasn't Neelix like in Voyager?
No, he was some character on the holodeck, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So a familiar face. Well, not such a familiar face because when he's Neelix, he's under all that makeup. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was the assimilation of the Borg of the crew is a hell of a lot quicker. I mean, the way Hawk was assimilated outside in
Right.
his spacesuit, it was within minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, you had to be hooked up to a machine and be assimilated that way.
Right.
That was a hell of a lot quicker there. But
Nanobots or something.
yeah, and also, have you mentioned who directed this?
Jonathan Frakes, yeah.
Yes. Stepping behind the camera. Um, do you think he did a good job, Susan?
Yeah, yeah. He was directing. He was directing quite a few things during. He has done so many different things that
Mhm.
he's directed.
I mean, him directing this, Riker didn't really have much to do in this, really.
Yeah, he's done. He acted. He's acted in 100 things, and he has directed recently, or he's directed 50 things.
Mm.
So it's all. I mean, he's only.
Yeah, I'm positive he did some of the Starfleet Academy episodes,
Yes.
um, which we won't go into. Um,
Well, you won't go into it because you don't even like him.
hey, I've said my piece on that pile of
You
space,
said you
space
said
food.
you said it got a 0.
No, it didn't get a zero. It didn't get a zero,
Oh, okay.
but it was near there.
Mm.
So I'm passing it back to you now, Susan. Anything moments for
Well, I'm
you?
gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that podcast because I forget what you gave it. But
I
yeah, um,
I think I gave it a three.
yeah, he's doing some things that were written by Arthur C. Clarke recently
Hmm.
that are coming up in the future. He directed 1 episode of Starfleet Academy, 2 episodes of Strange New World, 2 episodes of Leverage, 8 episodes of Discovery, 6 episodes of Star Trek Picard, 2 episodes of The Astronauts, which is interesting, 2 episodes of The Orville, uh, 10 episodes of The Librarians, that show by Dean Devlin for
Hmm.
Electric, uh, Dean Devlin's company. NCIS, he directed a movie called The Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce. He directed 1 episode of Powers. That's another Eddie Susie Izzard piece, actually. And Finding Carter, Falling Skies, just so many Agents of Shield. So many episodes of uh he did 3 of the or he did 2 of the movies of The Librarian with Noah Wiley, and he did Insurrection First Contact, um vo- 3 episodes of Voyager, 3 episodes of Deep Space Nine, 8 episodes of Next Generation. So I mean, he's really done pretty much every Star Trek that there is except for the animated stuff, which is
Only,
amazing to me.
only original.
Which he acted in anyway. Okay. So on all of those things, he is he's it's just because he stood there and he figured out that he's a good director. The other thing is that in this, you kind of get the you kind of get Data, and this is why Data's character arc is so interesting in the movies more than really any other character. You get Data getting sexual, getting tempted, but also, using deception really well. He deceives Picard first a bit, and he deceives the Borg Queen, even though he's jacked into her reality matrix. That's interesting, like Data has had a lot of trouble in Generations. He had a lot of trouble with the emotion chip. In this one, he was able to utilize it, turn it off, turn it on, but his basic thing was he was using his own autonomy to override everybody else's authority, which is great. I mean, that's like a big part of being a young person on Earth, is finding a way of making your own identity and your own autonomy above the authority figures around you. It's big. And I just think of like he doesn't have 3 laws. So, I mean, his positronic matrix is not a balancing act. It actually, they have created in Data a character with a super intensely more complex system of reality than the robots that I grew up with, which were the Asimovian robots. Okay. And more than the Star Wars droids, because the Star Wars droids, of course, there were some that were deceptive or whatever, or even had attitude like Chopper, but they were sort of one-dimensional characters without arcs. C-3PO never changed from when he was built. Even after he recovered from using Sith words, he's the same. Data had this arc, and this time he really was a different dude. And that was fun. And a lot of the people who were Spiner femmes, that's what they used to call the segment of fandom that were all hung up on Brent Spiner, was they were all like, the hell is wrong? They didn't like this one for him. Maybe, I mean, they kind of got titillated by it, but there was a subtle dislike of this movie. I think it was because of his autonomy, and they didn't quite get that. But if you're a Spiner femme and you disagree with me, then yeah, by all means, let's argue. Let's go for it. Get on the podcast, because we do need more argumentative people. And I would like to. I'd also like to say that the Enterprise E, it was a cool ship. It was a really cool ship, and it was a great.
It's a good little nod that the Phoenix, so when it went out into space, sort of resembled the Enterprise.
Kinda.
When the what would you call them, came out the sides.
The nacelles, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that little nod to
To
you know,
a dual nacelled spaceship. Exactly. That's true. Very good. Yeah,
uh,
we agree on that. That's also, and I love how, Zephram Cochrane looked around and he saw the Enterprise, and it was big enough to sort of shadow the sun on them.
mhm.
That was
And
cool.
sober him up as well.
Yeah,
She did have a
yeah,
problem with the alcohol.
yeah. And he thought it was, and when they were looking through that telescope, and he's like, "It's your telescope, Bob. But that is our ship, but you're not. We didn't fake this. This isn't special effects." And that was fun. Jordy Jordy also got a lot of like fun interaction with Zephram Cochrane. The whole "I gotta pee" thing, that was funny
Also,
and
oh
awkward.
yeah, also as well, the little cameo from Dwight Schultz as
Yeah,
Barclay
that's
um,
Barkley, right?
just popped up out of nowhere,
Exactly.
and then it got me thinking, how did he get down there? Because they couldn't contact the Enterprise at one point, but he must have gone down before all that happened. I don't know, but yeah, just
But
for
he was there.
Dwight, yeah. Well, for me, he'll be ever for a howling mad dog, bear dog. Um, yeah, but yeah, good to see Dwight Schultz reprising Barkley.
Uh-huh.
Anything else, Susan?
Um, what
I
about
tell you,
you? What were your favorite moments?
I tell you what, I wasn't keen on the opening credits. It didn't really say Star Trek to me. It was just a blurry blue shape with the names fading away to begin. And I'm thinking that's not very for a Star Trek movie. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay, I see your point.
Usually it's like a star field, isn't it? And with the names,
Yeah.
you know, which was just like which was about oh right, that's a bit doesn't really set me up for wanting to watch this movie. But
Yeah, I can see that.
it didn't. Yeah, the opening credits just did not have a Star Trek feel to me. I mean, you had all the names. You had Patrick Stewart and Michael Dorn and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what they were saying with that, like
yeah,
things coming into focus. I don't know. That was weird.
mm. But and also as well, you got. I don't know why, but I got the feeling that Picard was he falling in love with Lily.
I don't know.
It's the way he was at the end there. He was holding her hand and gazing in her eyes, and I'm thinking, is he falling for her? But the outcome of it,
Yeah,
yeah, it
what
was
was going to come of it? And then
well,
the very next movie, Insurrection, he's like, I'll snogging that lady. Like, what were they trying to make Kirkify Picard? Is that why the vest?
I don't know, but to
That's
me,
weird. You may
uh,
have really touched
to me,
on something that I'm gonna have to like look at.
to me, Picard's character in Star Trek is more of a diplomat,
Yeah,
not an action hero.
yeah,
He's a diplomatic character. He gets things done, but he's not an action hero wearing a vest, swinging off cables with a bloody gun in under his arm. But they say that's not a little. It jarred with me that bit. It's just a little bit out of place. But I suppose this was the movies. They had to do something different from the TV series, I suppose. Because some people say that the Next Gen was more let's sit down and talk episodes over diplomatic issues. Some of the episodes.
But you wouldn't have that with the Borg.
No. No.
But the other thing was, I think that maybe they didn't allow him to show his fear as much.
Yeah, well, they say at the beginning where you're having these flashbacks of
the nightmares, right? The dream within a dream, and then the coming
becoming Borg. They had to do that. I suppose they had to do that in case people were coming to this movie if they hadn't seen the episodes. Best of Both Worlds, was it called?
Yeah.
Where he becomes, is it Locutus? The name Locutus. They had to do that because they say some people wouldn't have even seen those episodes. So I can understand that.
Yeah.
So they sort of give a little bit of a backstory right at the beginning of the film.
But then maybe they needed to show that he was like that. I guess they were trying to pull from Moby Dick into this. A lot of that. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ahab and Moby Dick.
But they were also, if they were trying to pull in from Die Hard and also pull in from the original series.
Yeah.
That would have been, more Kirkish to find the first woman, that crosses his path.
Yeah.
And then there is Troy, so drunk she can't even talk. That was hilarious in a way, but also like, yeah, it was a little strange.
Those three characters, Geordie, Riker, and you just mentioned Troy, really didn't have much to do in the story because most of the action was on the Enterprise. Yeah, so they wasn't given much to do. I mean, it's very funny that it was mentioned about Captain Ahab and Moby Dick. 2 years after this was made, Patrick Stewart made the TV movie Moby Dick, playing Captain Ahab.
Right.
So serendipity. At least they didn't blow this Enterprise up, which they seem to do quite often nowadays in the movies.
Yeah.
This one survived. There was a threat of it, but it survived. So, anything else?
Anything else? Would Worf have admitted to being sickened by zero-G combat training?
Mm-hmm.
Don't think so.
Not in the position he's in.
That was, I think, a little bit of, that line should have gone to Mr. Quiet, Lieutenant Hawk.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion.
Well, in another scene in, I don't know, I can't remember which movie it is. Um, Worf has got a hangover. So in one of the two remaining movies, I can't remember which one it is, but a Klingon with a hangover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, well, I do like the fact that the played out sort of closing scene with Ooby Dooby on the jukebox by Roy Orbison. So that was
Yeah, and you know that little mountain area, pretty accurate. Like my friends are talking about going back up to this cabin in the woods,
Mhm.
and I spent a lot of time up there when when I lived in Bozeman, and yeah, very, very, it's very much like that whole ambiance where they built the Phoenix, where there's a little cabin and like drinks and
I mean,
the
I
the bar.
suppose.
Yeah, it's
Go on.
no, it's just that's that was pretty scene accurate. Like Braga really gave gave it the right ambiance. Like I'm really glad that he knew to do that right.
The, the other thing is what I thought I'd mention is this is all about first contact day, and the first contact with an alien species. It could have been any Star Trek species for first contact, but I bet back in 1996 in the theaters when those people walked out of the ship and put the hoods down, I bet that the true Star Trek fans went, "Whoa, Vulcans!" Could have been any
Yeah,
species, but had,
that was
it,
great.
it had to be Vulcans in it, without a doubt.
Yeah, you're right.
So, anything else?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Mm.
And I
So,
know that we started this podcast series with, I mean, way back 10 years ago, we watched like the Star Trek the motion picture,
yeah,
and
that was 10 years ago, yeah.
um yeah, so it took us 10 years to get to this one, but
Yeah, we've done them in order, so we've got two more of the next gens to do whenever we get round to
yeah.
those. So we will finish here then. So, what is your final say and score on Star Trek First Contact?
I will give this let's see. Yeah, I'll give this 9.5 drunk Deanna Troy's out of 10. I just thought that was, great. Or, Neil McDonough's. Oh my gosh. So fun.
Right.
Great.
For, for me,
You?
for me, I'm going to give this just because there's certain little niggles, not big niggles, but enough to give this 9 phases out of 10. Um, there's just those little niggles where you think that doesn't go right in him, having Picard swinging through the Enterprise on a cable in his vest, stuff like that. I suppose they were making it for a different audience, I suppose. Yeah, so not a bad score from both of us for this one.
Right.
So you guys, have you seen this? You surely have. If you're a geek, you've seen the Star Trek movie. Um, Let us know what you thought of First Contact. Just leave a message on this video. Let us know. Also,
and I just one more thing. I think that James Cromwell did a good job reprising the character of Zefram Cochrane from the original series.
he didn't play him
Zefram
in the.
Cochrane was so weird in the original series that that James, I mean, like it properly resolved that. That was
Yeah,
fun.
it was.
Yeah,
It was a different actor who played him in the TV series. Um,
yeah, for sure.
Looked totally different. But
Yeah.
who they don't, no, I don't think they cared about that. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Also, as well, if you like to join us, leave a message on any of our videos. All you have to be is 18 and over. Have a working camera and microphone on the device you use, and we'll have you in. Just leave a message. Also, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell notification button, and we'll try and get you on. Is that it? Everything?
Um,
I think so.
did you hit the bell?
Hit the bell. Go on, hit the bell. I didn't hear the bell, but you can hit the bell. I sort of heard it there. It was slight, but yeah. So that is it. That's us done for another week. Two casts down, recorded, and we will start it all again next week. Surprise, surprise, though, because I'm not going to tell Susan until after we've stopped recording what it's going to be. So until next time, guys, please be safe and keep looking up at the stars. Bye for now.